live. Welcome back to the stream, everybody. Day 19. We've made a lot of progress, and we're gonna continue to make progress. Some really exciting announcements since the last stream is that our app got accepted on Google Play. So let's pull this up real quick. I'll show you guys essentially what happened and what we're dealing with. Before I do that though, so check this out. So this is what it looks like once your app gets accepted. So it's a different dashboard. Right now, again, we haven't really started marketing. We have quite a few bugs actually on the Android version that I was not expecting. We have some bugs that have been reported by our Discord community, which is great. But yeah, let me pull this up, and we're gonna get right into it. So just give me 1 second while I get everything on my end set up. But yeah, day 19, guys. We're gonna be streaming for a couple hours, so thanks for tuning in. It's gonna be a good day. Doom, what's up? Noah, what's up? Yeah, Doom, I saw your DMs. I think, so correct me if I'm wrong, but from my perspective, let me pull it up just so I can get that. It was like Code Rabbit again, right? Was that what it was? It was Code Rabbit. Basically, one of our subscribers, he recommended this AI tool that's called Code Rabbit, is what it's called. And essentially with Code Rabbit, you're able to upload a GitHub repository, and it's basically like a bug finder, and it's a specialized like code reviewer. So Doom recommended, hey, take a look at this, and maybe to help us find some of these bugs, we can basically use this to find the bugs. But what I'm thinking is that since the bugs are UI related, I think that we're gonna have to, take some of the recommendations that you guys gave me instead, if that makes sense. But anyway, let's get the app launched and get to work. All right, here we are. Welcome back, guys. Another great day to make some progress. Make sure you guys like the stream if you're just joining in. The $46 in revenue came from the Bridgemind Academy. So we've made our first dollars. We got it in our Stripe dashboard, and we're going up. I expect basically from what I'm thinking about and some of the strategies that I have in my mind. It's slow to get started, just like anything is slow to get started. but it's gonna really scale. The analytics that I see on my end is headed in the right direction. So it may be small now, but I expect it to take a pretty big lift off, especially with the Bridgemind Academy launching. All right, we have to get our database. We have an error in our database right now, so we just got to fix that, and then we'll be good to go. Open this. Sorry, you guys don't get to see my password. Alright, sorry guys, I'm getting some setup on my end, so I'm not really paying attention to chat, but I will in a second once I get everything going. That ain't another issue. I got... shut this down, terminate all. Alright, this will be good. Find the task running on port 8080 and kill it. All right. All right, DDG. Alright, so I'll show you guys what our Stripe dashboard is looking like. Here is Stripe. And let's pull up RevenueCat as well. So we have two revenue streams right now. One, the app, the other, Bridgemind.ai. Alright, so we're still at $0 on GoalPost, and I think what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to figure out what's the bug that's causing it to be 0. I know that we have a decent amount of bugs, so we're just gonna have to take a look at everything that's going on and make sure that we fix any bugs that's causing that to not work. All right, so there we go. Got our API running. Should be all good, fresh now. All right. Okay. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is we need to take a look at some of these bugs that we're having. So what's nice is in the Reddit channel, in the Bridgemind Discord, we have this bugs, and we have a couple bugs. So Dark Sky found one. And you know the problem is that I think that with React Native, you have some different nuances. Like these bugs these bugs that were reported by Android users were not happening on iOS. So let's take a look at what's going on. Doom said the biggest way to find bugs is test everything as you would as a new user. That's what I find best. Yeah, I think what we're gonna have to do is, instead of running the sim using the iOS sim, we're actually gonna do something that we don't do a lot, which is actually run the Android simulator. So let's run npm run start, and instead of running the iOS simulator, we're gonna see if we can do Android. But it looks like we have failed and okay. So it looks like we do not have the Android simulator actually set up. All right. So it says in your shell, gotta run these. Ooh. Install Android Studio. I thought I already had that installed, but I guess we gotta install it. Wait, let's double check. I thought I had it installed. Android Studio? Guess not. Alright. Let's download it. Alright, this is in our downloads. Doom said, are you aware of the thresholds and high taxes in like New York and California with Stripe? Yeah, I'm not too worried about it. Felix said, which programming language would you recommend a beginner to build an app? Friends told me to focus on Flutter or Swift. It just depends on, I mean, if you're a complete beginner. I'm not sure. I mean, with React Native, you can kind of take everything that you learn and take it to the web development side, so it's kind of nice. But yeah, I'm definitely a big React Native fan. Dinas, check the description. All right, this download's still going. All right, it's downloaded. All right, so this is Android Studio. In order to run an Android simulator, we're gonna have to download Android Studio so that we can actually run the sim. And what we're trying to do is maybe some of these errors that we're having, we can recreate them on the simulator so that we can, you know, do screenshots and whatnot. All right, should be good now. Android Studio. Okay. Signing my life away here. All right, it's installing. Yeah, we're starting to work on Android bugs. Doom, I'm feeling much better today. Okay, so something that I want to confirm is that on my end, when I've got essentially, when I'm running it on my phone, I want to make sure that users can actually pay for the subscription. So I'm going to install, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to do an iPhone mirror, but just give me 1 second so I can get it on my phone first. Oh yeah, DDG, that's a good idea. Change the feed icon from what it is currently to a home icon. Honestly, I don't even really like feed. Maybe let's just change it to home. Also, rebrand feed to just home instead of feed text. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. All right. All right. So I'm gonna show you guys, or I don't know. Give me one second. I'm gonna test it on my phone first and see. Alright, so we're going to change that, and then let's see how's our studio build. Oh, also, guys, I got another YouTube video coming out tomorrow. I was doing some editing. That's what it looks like on my end. Alright, Android Studio done. Okay, so I think how this works is we should just be able to, now that we have Android Studio, I think we need to set it up. So I doubt this will work, because I don't think that the simulator is set up by default. Let's see. Wow. No Android yet. That's what I expected. So, nothing found. Something that I'm going to try and start doing more is I'm actually going to start working with multiple tabs at once in Cursor more. I feel like I've been getting a lot better at vibe coding, especially with everything that we've been doing. Are you using Whisper to talk to Cursor? Yep, I'm using Whisper. Take a look at the logs that I got when trying to open the Android simulator. What do we need to do to actually get the Android simulator set up? I just downloaded Android Studio. What's next? Okay, so let's send that off. Also, if you guys are watching and haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. We've made a ton of progress tonight. The main focus is that we are hunting for bugs, and we're also going to make sure that we have kind of like the onboarding flow hooked up. And then this week, we're going to actually start pushing marketing pretty hard. As you can see, guys, we've made our first revenue. So, you know, I think it'll scale. But right now, we're just getting started off slow. Nothing wrong with that. Doom said he loves Lucid React. Yeah, Lucid React icons are pretty good. So, let's see what wants us to do. Doom said you would also want to rename the files from feed also. Yeah. Okay. Make sure these are installed. Oh, I remember doing this on. I think now that I remember, I have this set up on my Mac, and I know that it was a pain to get this all hooked up on the Mac. But I think that we'll be able to get it. But it may just be hard to. It's like Android makes it kind of difficult to develop Android on a Mac, and then iOS makes it hard to develop on anything else except a Mac if you're developing on iOS. Russell, I go live Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. And I go live around, I try and do around 5:30, and then I'll be live for a couple hours on those days. Okay, so it's saying ensure that these are installed. I'm pretty sure they are installed. But let's go. So it says more actions. So let's just do a screenshot. Take a look at the screenshot and help me get this set up correctly. Okay, what's going on over here? I feel like this is stuck on something. Do I need a refresh? Oh, I'm not running the simulator, am I? Duh. Okay. It's not changed. Do I need to quit the simulator and restart or something? Take a close look at the screenshots. Why is it that the feed icon and the feed text itself still hasn't changed? Your updates didn't do anything. Take a look at this again. Why did your changes not go into effect? Okay. If you guys are watching, haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. We're going to be live for a couple hours solving bugs, and it's going to be a good day. Go back to this. All right, so it says, follow these steps from the screen you're on. Open SDK Manager, tab 1, install Android 15, Google APIs. Jeez, it's a lot of steps. SDK platforms. Open SDK Manager. Oh yeah, I remember setting this up on my MacBook. This is always a pain. All right, so it says install one of Android 15. I mean, I feel like this is all not set up out of the box. Take a look at the screenshot. Am I good on this page? Here. All right, there's our home. Please now find all references to the feed screen. I don't want to do that yet. I don't want to change the references to feed yet. Not worth it. Thanks, DDG. Appreciate it. All right, I'm not sure. I know that the Android, how buggy the Android seemed a little bit buggy to me. Basically, from what I saw. Also, something to note is that let's see. Pull up RevenueCat. Okay. What do you mean, DDG? All right, so that looks fine. Something that I definitely want to change is the subscription screen is hooked up correctly. It's a difficult feature to test, but this here, when I'm on an iPhone, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pull this up on my iPhone and just screen mirror for you guys. It does not look good on an iPhone screen. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of restyle this screen. We're going to use Claude for Sonnet Max. And then I'm just going to add the subscription screen. And then there's another one, isn't there? It's the... Or no, I think I built it in to the subscription screen. It was on the last time... Doom said, does the sign-up flow with single sign-on iOS work or just not fully implemented? So on Apple it works, the single sign-on works, but Doom, you actually helped me find that bug because, for example, when I try to authenticate with Google on an Apple device, it actually just crashes the app. So we're gonna need to take a look at that one today as well. That's a big one. So let's pull up a Trello board, and we're actually going to write some of these down. Let's pull up our Trello board. So let's see here. All right. Google single sign-on. All right, so that's definitely one that I want to tackle tonight. Let's do, can we label it? Okay, label urgent. All right, label that one urgent. And then another one is that we really need to restyle the subscription screen. Restyle the subscription screen. This is urgent. All right. Zalk, what's up? So Noah asked, would you try weekly payments in the RevenueCat production? Yeah, so here's RevenueCat. Looks like we actually got a sub 8 minutes ago. So looks like it's working. Yeah, I don't want to do too much with the subscription yet. I think a monthly subscription at $4.99 is fine. Let's just start there and get the baseline functionality working. Kai said, if you don't pay money to developers to code, why do you have subscriptions? I find it a bit scummy. I'm just genuinely asking if I don't get this vibe coding thing as a programmer myself. Well, I'll answer that question for you right now. It's a very simple answer. Give me 1 second to sign into my AWS account and I'll show you my developer expenses. Yeah, I mean, there's expenses to everything. You know, to host, you have to pay for your infrastructure. You have to pay for Expo. You have to pay for your domain. You have to pay for Cursor costs. You have to pay for all sorts of stuff. So all right, but yeah, let's go into our AWS account and I'll show you guys what it looks like. All right, so we got RevenueCat working. And then, yeah, so here's our AWS expenses here. 140, projected to be 180 by the month's end. Pretty normal. Doom said, for me on Android, it didn't crash. When I tried the Google sign up, it just made the app very laggy and didn't sign me up. Okay, good to know. Yeah, there's definitely a bug on that sign up though, because it did crash for me on Apple. It will crash it. DDG, that's so true. So let's tackle the first thing here. Let's restyle this subscription screen. I need it so that it's completely, I don't like the explanations. Take a look at the subscription screen. Right now, it it basically overflows on some screen sizes, which is a big problem. What I need it to do is I need you to completely restyle it and make it more compact. Take a look at the screen and its styling and remove the descriptions of some of these features for upgrading to premium. For example, unlimited goals is self-explanatory. It doesn't need create as many goals as you need underneath it. Also, the icons do not accurately represent the benefits of upgrading to premium. Please take a look at this and try again. Completely rebuild it. Yeah, Doom, well said. Okay. Actually, don't completely rebuild it. Only rebuild the UI. The UI, while staying on theme. All right. Okay. So I don't know if we're gonna be able to get the this Android simulator running. I remember doing it on my MacBook, and I had to update like a ton of different settings, and I don't want to do that on stream. But we'll see. That looks terrible. If you guys are watching, haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. Channel's kind of been taken off lately. Got another YouTube video coming out tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be, it's basically like how to use Claude Code for beginners. So if you guys are interested in Claude Code, and obviously most of you have probably heard of Claude Code, but I really did a deep dive on it and was trying it out, and then I made a video on it. But between us, obviously I made a video on it, and I'll probably make more videos on it just because it's like a lot of people really like it. But I'm not a big fan. Just working in the terminal, and then also I was hooked up to the API, and I was using like Opus, and Opus is so expensive. I did like 2 prompts, and it cost like $10, which is just crazy. All right, yeah, it doesn't look great. Oh, also, there's a setting that I recently turned on, and I want to show it to you guys. It's pretty cool. So this was in my last YouTube video, so if you watch that, you'll have picked up on this, but I'll show it on stream too because it was super helpful. I think it's in chat. There is a setting here in chat, and it's called completion sound, and you can make it so that there's a completion sound when the agent is completed with its task, which is nice. So it helps you work on multiple things at once. All right, this does not look great. Let's pull up some sort of paywall reference for it to have. Let's open up, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna open up RevenueCat, and we're gonna go into paywalls, and then we're gonna open up just like this default paywall. And then, I mean, this is really what it should look like. Do this and like just screenshot this and pass it in. Take a look at the screenshot example. This is just an example. Don't replicate it exactly. Please just integrate what our subscription actually is, which is the $4.99 singular subscription. But take a look at this screenshot and use it as inspiration, but continue to keep our theme. But take a look at this and try and figure out how you can make our subscription screen look like this. Let's take off Max. I feel like Max. Oh, not $499. $4.99. Doom said, because a developer is there to help a company get the most money and add new features in security and optimize. Yep. They need to add a competition notification so you know what agent is done and not just a sound. Wait, what do you mean a competition notification? Oh, like something that actually pops up. I mean, you'll hear it. It's kind of nice. They could probably do more, but all right, let's see what this does. That looks better. I'm pretty sure I've got like a text logo component in here somewhere though. Where is it? Text logo. Make sure you use the text logo component with the correct theme and styling. Looks a little bit better. All right, that's looking better. Look at how the text logo is used on the feed screen. Look at how the text logo is used on the feed screen. That is crazy. With I don't know if you guys knew this, but with Whisper Flow, you can actually, it'll reference the files just by like automatically, which is incredible. Also, give the subscription screen kind of a gradient gloss. While staying on theme. Also, remove the continue button. It shouldn't be continue. Or actually, I don't think it's done. I feel like it's going to update that next. Let's get a to-do list here. All right, you got to continue for free. Okay. Also, change the continue button to the $4.99 button. All right, there's our little chime. All right. Also, change the continue button to a $4.99 button. Let me see what it looked like on. All right, we'll do that. I wonder what's causing our error with the Google sign up. That's the next thing that we're going to work on. So I just wanted to change this a little bit so that we got the styling figured out. But the next thing that we need to work on is over here. If we sign out real quick, we've got essentially this Google sign-in, this single sign-on. And the biggest problem with this is that it'll crash the app. And it'll crash the app regardless when I'm running on an iOS simulator. Like I have to run this on, regardless, I have to run this on test flight or actually the app if I was gonna get this to work. But the Google single sign-on is not working. So we've got to figure out how to get this working. And we don't exactly know what the actual cause of the reason that it's failing was. So we're gonna need to look at that. Okay. All right, so the first thing that we're going to look at is our log groups in AWS. So I'm going to show you guys this. So this is what it looks like in AWS when you are working with an API. So I have a log group here, and with this log group, I'm wondering if we can actually see what happens. Like, are we getting any logs when I try and authenticate? So let me do one thing real quick. I'm going to show you guys kind of what I'm doing. So I'm going to start tailing. So when you tail, basically anything that that comes in on the front end is going to get displayed in your logs. So I'll show you guys what's happening. So let's start tailing, and then I'll just show you guys this. So on my phone, if I click Google, crashes immediately. So when I tested this the other day, though, the problem was that it was not showing any logs on the back end here. So here's one log, but I'm assuming this is just the health root. Yeah. So that's just our standardized health check for the health of the service. So it must be, I mean, if it's not showing on the API, then is the request even reaching? Monon, what's up? In production, when I click the Google option during sign up, it crashes the app and it doesn't actually work. Why is this happening? Can you do a code review and figure out what could potentially be causing this? When I looked at my logs in CloudWatch in AWS, I wasn't seeing anything. So, for example, when I was in the sign-up process and started tailing and clicked the Google button, it just immediately crashed the app, and I was never able to actually see any logs from that. So I don't know if the request is ever actually reaching the back end. Can you take a look at this and figure out what could potentially be wrong? All right, try this, and then I'm going to switch to, let's go GPT-5. What is, all right, just do fast. DGG said, when will you be pushing this update to Play Store? Tonight. I plan on tonight. But yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of bugs to fix tonight, so we're gonna be streaming. I'm gonna be streaming for a couple hours, so. But yeah, so I'll fix it and then push it tonight. Doom, that sounds like a cool project. All right, so here's what we're seeing. iOS is misconfigured. Your reverse URL screen for Google sign-in is wrong, so the native SDK crashes before any network request. Yeah, I'm free of caffeine. No caffeine in my system, guys. Yeah, Doom, you should. That sounds like really cool. I'd like to check it out. Okay, so I know that I had this working at one point in time. So I was surprised when I heard from Doom that it was broken. And the problem is that you cannot test. You can't test on the iOS simulator. Okay. Please take a deep look at the project and make sure that you patch this bug. I don't know. I think that'll get it. We'll have to test it in test flight. So the problem is that to even test this, or can you use it? No, I think you can actually use it on a, you can do a development build to test this feature. So you don't have to do all the way to test flight, but you do have to do a development build, which still takes time to run. Yeah. So when I click Google, it just sends me back to the sign in. But I think, look at this. Look at that. Okay, so actually, this is really interesting. It looks like it's actually kicking the error right here in our local, which is really interesting. Okay, so let's do a little refresh here. So let's see if that fixed some of our issue. I feel like it should. So we do sign in and then Google. Nah. So still this issue. Review the logs. What is causing the error when I click the sign in with Google button or sign up with Google button? If you guys are watching and haven't already subscribed, make sure you do so. Also, if you haven't liked the stream, super helpful to do that because I think like once these streams end, they go live on YouTube. So the more likes they have, the better it is. So, okay, let's see here. So it says, the error is caused by a missing iOS URL scheme for Google sign in. The SDK expects the reverse SDK scheme, but it isn't registered in. Didn't I ask it to update this? Please update this. Yeah, Doom broke it. I know that I had it working, so I'm just surprised that something broke it. I don't think I can test it on a sim. But I don't know why the sim would be throwing the error. Can I test this on the iOS simulator, or what's the best way for me to actually test this without having to push this to production and test in production? How I tried using context. Yeah, this is using, I already have a context file in here. Okay. Alright, yeah, so this is why it's hard to test this feature. So you can't test this in Expo Go because Google Sign In uses native code. You need a native dev build. So recommended ways to test without production. Local iOS simulator, fastest, so do a pre-build. I think this is the best way to do it. I want to do this option. Can you please use EAS CLI to actually create the dev build for me? Okay, so we'll do this. We'll just create a dev build, test that, so that we don't have to push all the way, but test it in production. Let's do something real quick. So I want to test the sign up flow. Failed to create user. Username already exists. Guess I gotta do 4 tests. Alright. So here is what the subscription plan looks like now. So after you sign up, it's gonna launch this subscription screen, and this looks better. It looks like it looks a lot simpler. So it says pick your plan, unlimited goals, unlimited focus sessions, AI coach access, advanced analytics, social features, ad-free experience. So Doom asked, sorry. Yeah, it's my dog behind me. What Google packages do you have for Expo? I have everything configured. We'll test on the development build. It'll take about 15 minutes to get that development build up and running, but I think that we'll have a really good view of things once we get that up and running. Okay, so this looks good. These don't actually link. Is that a requirement to... Is it a requirement to have a terms and privacy? I think it is, because now that I think about it, RevenueCat has that. Like, for example, if I pull up... Where's our RevenueCat? Yeah, if I pull up RevenueCat... Well, I guess we used that as the example, didn't we? On subscription screens for App Store guidelines and Google Play Store guidelines. Change to ask. Doom said that he thinks that there should be a validation, error validation, saying that the username is already taken instead of failed to create user. That's a really good idea. So let's see here. Looks like this finished over here. So you have an EAS build. Oh, did it fail? Not app code. Oh, rip. Okay. All right, we gotta do something over in App Developer. Professor of Logic said 46 bucks. We rich. It's a slow grind to the top, folks. You just gotta have the staying power to succeed, and that's all it really is, right? Staying power. All right. So you have to go over to App Store. Is it App Store Connect or Apple Developer? Okay. So you have to go to Apple Developer, and then we got to go to certificates. Yep. And then identifiers and profiles. Okay. So I have this app ID. All right, here's what I'm looking at. And what it's asking me to do is essentially we need to turn on the push notifications. Push notifications, let's just do it. You have to configure this, it looks like. Do we need to configure push notifications, or is this good? I think we have to configure it, but I'm pretty sure that. Let's double check. This has been going for way too long. Cancel out of this. On the subscription screen, can you make sure that the terms and privacy buttons actually link to those respective pages or screens? At terms screen, at privacy screen. Didn't do it. It's all good, it'll find it. It'll grep. On the sign up process, right now, if a user enters a username that has already been taken, there is no user feedback to the user. It just fails to sign them up. I need you to integrate a checking mechanism on the username part of the onboarding process so that users cannot go to the next step without first checking whether the username is already taken, if that makes sense. And if it is, there needs to be a handler that shows good user feedback so that they know that it's been taken and that they need to change it. You may need to create a new API route for this. please take a look at the functionality and see if you can build this. All right. High fast on that one, since it's across multiple things. So we have this issue with, you know, the Apple developers. What I'm seeing on my end. So here, I'm just gonna take a screenshot. So basically, here's what I'm seeing. Create a new certificate. So upload a certificate signing request. So it needs us to upload this, and I have no idea what this even is. So we're gonna have to go over here. Okay, go over here. Take a look at this that I'm looking at in the Apple developer portal. How do I actually generate the certificate signing request for me to be able to upload? What's the best practice approach? If you guys are watching and haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. I'm getting close to 1,600 subscribers, getting real close. Open keychain access. Okay. Let's do keychain access. Keychain access. Okay, I'm gonna do this part off stream. It's a little bit sensitive. It's gonna like show my passwords and stuff, so do that offline. All right, let's go back to this. Make sure that those are updated so that it actually goes to those screens respectively. And then how's this going over here? So let's go back out now. Wait, no, that's the privacy policy. This is the one. All right, this feature is a little bit more complex. Professor of Logic, I'm checking for usernames to see if they exist before letting them create. So it's creating an API endpoint for users check username. Yeah, I think it'll get it on one shot here. Pretty straightforward. Yeah, user service, username DTO. Looks good. All right, something I want to check is I want to check if the uploading a profile image is working, which I don't think it is. All right, so let's see if that works. It's done. So all we have to do is go here, test, test, and then just test, test, test. This username was taken. It says username is available. Come on. Apple requires you to actually delete the user's data if they request that it's deleted. It's like a policy thing. Like, think about on any dating apps, if you've ever used a dating app, once you delete that account, like actually delete it, you can't come back. You did not integrate the checking functionality in the front end. When I entered a username that had already been taken, it didn't work. Could you take a look at this and make sure that it actually checks? I mean, wait, let's do a double check real quick. See here. Just want to do... Open up this. So here are some usernames. And it actually looks like that test username wasn't taken. So I just pulled this up and you guys can see that that test was actually the first test to go in. So now let's check test. Or wait, no, because we didn't actually create the account. Look at this, test. Username is available. No, it's not. As you can see, it's marking this test username as available when in reality it's not. 1 second. All right, sorry about that. Okay. Tighten. Go down. All right. Test, test, test. Continue. There we go. All right. You don't need 2 of them, though. Don't need to have 2 of these. The red text under the input is enough. Remove the one at the top. Doom, you saying on Android it doesn't say delete? Alright, there we go. Alright, cool. Whoa! Hold on. Wasn't that one already taken too? Maybe I misspelled it. Copy it right from the source. Oh, there we go. All right. Oh, it was five tests. Okay. All right. So this works. Yeah, it's checking the database for what users are already taken. All right, continue. All right, create account, pops this up. That looks good. Continue for free. Okay. So something that we need to get figured out is this subscription thing. So it's saying that Professor, it's pretty good with TypeORM is pretty good with joins. All right, Doom, I'll check it out. All right, I'd like to be able to test this out, but we may just have to test it out in production. I'd like to see if we get the Android simulator working, because that's a source of a lot of bugs for us. So let's see here. All right, launch Android. Can you help me get the Android simulator working correctly? I have Android Studio already downloaded. All right, go here. Professor, this is so we use TypeORM, and everything's configured in TypeORM. So I have a database repo, and you set up the tables and the entities there, and then you use TypeORM and the API as well to be able to configure that. So anytime that you're querying the database, it's using TypeORM. It can do everything that SQL does, but instead of having to actually write SQL queries, use TypeORM, which is great. All right, hold on. Professor, I'm dead. Doom said CodeRabbit can do a code review for him, and they have a VS Code extension for sync is another good one. Yeah, I think what I want to do is I really want to get this simulator working so that I can check out the UI bugs, because I'm not sure if CodeRabbit would be able to detect UI problems. Like there was some flickering reported. So we're just going to take a look at this and see if we can actually get the Android simulator running. Oh, whoa, that was fast. All right, well, this is going up. I'm gonna use the restroom real quick. I'll be right back. Looks like we got the simulator up and running. This is great. Professor of Logic said QA is something that will go away soon as a field. You think so? Probably. Okay. So we got this running. Let's see if we can actually get this launched now. Like, honestly, I would stop this if it was able to just launch opening on Android. No development build. Okay. I think we need to install an... Stippy said that his Android emulator is not working for some reason, so you have to use your phone instead. Yeah, I do not like having to, like... I don't like Expo Go. Like, even though a lot of people use Expo Go, like, obviously I use Expo for development, but I don't really like it that much for the actual, like, testing processes. Stibby asked, what is that app for? GoalPost is a productivity app. You can check more information in the description. Also, if you guys haven't joined our Discord community, you should. There's a link to it in the description. All right. Sorry, I have to entertain my dog. Okay, so it's doing a lot of stuff. But yeah, emulator's looking good. If you guys haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. We're getting close to 1,600 subscribers. Installing Gradle. So I'm hoping that once we get this updated, it would be huge if we could actually see, if we could actually see, essentially, like some of these errors that I saw I was getting from subscribers that were saying, hey, there's this problem, or there's this problem. I'm hoping that we'll be able to debug some of those in the Android emulator. Looks like, yeah. Professor, it's the error down here is no development build, which is simple. We'll fix that in just a second. Just want to make sure that this finishes doing everything that it needs to. It's kind of doing the emulator setup, so we'll let it do that, and then yeah, this emulator is pretty cool. Does it actually work? That's cool. Look, guys, I'll watch on this device. That's hilarious. How do I like and sub? Ah, I gotta sign in. Alright. Thanks, Doom. I'll check it out. Alright. Alright. How do I get home? Okay. Thanks, Doom. Alright, why is this, like, still going? Alright, I think it's fine. Alright, let's do an npm run start, and then let's see. Oh, whoa. Wrong window. Alright, let's do Control-C, npm run start. And then let's do an A. Open Android. It's going to give us that same error. I'm just going to copy this in now. Take a look at the logs now. Please fix this so that we can actually launch the app on the emulator. Honestly, I don't want it to... Yeah, I don't want to do all this. Build failed. I don't even know. It's like trying to do an emulator setup, but I think that we have everything that we need up to this point. Why is it doing the same thing? Doom, I'm not sure. With RevenueCat, how can I set up a 7-day free trial? Or for my app, how could I do a 7-day free trial for the premium subscription? Is that something that I need to update in RevenueCat, or can I update that in code? Kind of curious. Doom asked, did you get the app on Android emulator? Not yet. It's like doing a bunch of downloads right now, but I think they were successful, it looks like. Still waiting on a couple things, though. Stippy said, what DB do you use? I use Postgres, and I use AWS for the infrastructure, so it's RDS. All right, something else that we want to do is I want to set up a free trial, and we also need to set up the Google Play subscription. So if we open up RevenueCat here and go to our dashboard, what you guys will notice is that if I go to product catalog and go to default, we have this monthly, but the problem is that we only have the App Store configured right now. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to actually add the product in the App Store. But right now, we have not configured that correctly. So we're gonna have to take a look at that. We're gonna have to configure that. So let's see, emulator booted, development build installed, and the app launched via deep link. Okay, nice. All right. So here we are. Looks like we're good on the emulator here. So here is like, just off the top of my head, like one thing I can see that like part of this is missing. I think Doom highlighted this. Dev Mindset, what's up? So let's just sign in. Or wait, let's try that Google again. Whoa, this seems to be working, guys. See this? I'm gonna see. I mean, I don't think that you can. Wait, hold up. Purchase error. All right, hold up. This is this is something that I don't understand. So, for example, one of the subscribers said, "Oh, whoa. I know what I gotta do. Give me 1 second, guys. I gotta update some environment variables. But yeah, so this looks decent. But yeah, I gotta update an environment variable real quick. Doom said it doesn't fully work. Okay. What's the command on a Mac to get my LAN IP from the terminal? Alright, so we're gonna have to update this because basically when you're using the iOS simulator, you can use localhost because your iOS simulator has access to it actually has access to the local host on your machine. But when you're running the Android emulator, it does not have access to your device, which is just kind of like an interesting thing to note, is that you actually have to use your LAN IP. So what I'm doing now is I'm just going in and changing one of my environment variables to use my LAN IP instead of what I was using previously. So let's see here. Go here now. Relaunch. Refresh. Right. Wait. All right. This should work now. So sign in. Cool. All right. So here is something really interesting, guys. So if you notice, look at how different the styling is on Android versus iOS. So check out the iOS over here, and what you can see is it kind of has like, it looks really nice, right? It looks really modern. But Android though just doesn't look great. And this is what I noticed on some of the screenshots that subscribers gave me. I was like, what in the world? I was like, it does not look like that on iOS. Also, so what I'm hoping is that there actually will be some flickering. So there's not. But like, look at these divs. So for example, if I open up create goal here, Jim, I've noted what you're saying. I mean, look at how different they look, you know? And I really don't like that. Take a look at the screenshot. Right now, the inputs and styling on the iOS version that you see on the right look really modern and professional. But on Google, it doesn't look the same. It actually looks not very good. Can you figure out how we can update the code so that it looks the same and looks good on both iOS and Android? Oh, what? That was such a good prompt. Can you take a look at the screenshots? The iOS simulator is on the right and the Android emulator is on the left. Could you take a look at the differences in the styling And note that the styling on iOS looks really modern and professional, while the styling on the Android emulator does not look like that. It actually looks not so great. Could you figure out how to update the code so that it looks the same and looks good on both devices? What is causing this? Yeah, the colors are a lot different. It's like, what is like causing that? Like this looks like a great app, and then on the left, not so much. It's like the divs is what it is. It's like, notice how this looks great with like a nice rounded div. Yeah, and then this is like, yes. Whoa, flickering. That's the flickering. So this is actually great because, you know, we are creating some of the errors again. So I'm happy that we did this. There is a bug in the Android emulator that is not present in the iOS simulator. For some reason, on the create goal screen, there's something that I do that causes the continue button to flicker, meaning it spazzes out and bugs out. What's causing this, and can you please find this error and fix it? I don't know. I don't know what's causing it. I don't know why it's geeking out on us. I mean, this thing is spazzing out. So let's first see. I would be very encouraged if we could figure out, hey, what's causing the styling differences between Android and iOS? And, you know, what's interesting is that, like, this is a learning experience. This is a learning experience for me. I hope it's a learning experience for you guys as well. But, you know, something to note is that I thought that by reusing React Native, that the styling was gonna essentially match up, like, you know, pretty much perfectly. And as obviously you guys can see that not only is the styling not matching up perfectly, but there's actually bugs on Android that don't exist in iOS, and I wonder why. So I'm very interested to see what it comes back with. Also, if you guys have been watching and you haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. We're getting close to 1,600 subs. Look at that, 1.59. We're getting so close. All right, so create goal. There's just like so many differences that I was not expecting there to be between iOS and Android. Very surprised. Yeah, I'm using a colors.ts file. So how the styling works in Doom, I think that you actually asked about this. So this is essentially how it works. So first off, I'm using Native Wind. So Native Wind is similar to Tailwind if you're familiar with web development. Tailwind is definitely one of the best modern CSS frameworks. But yeah, if you go to constants here, and then I have a colors.ts file. It has a lot of the hex colors and some of the RGBAs on this. I mean, did that really do anything to it? You know? It like... didn't really do anything, to be honest. Nah. Let's see if we can solve that flickering bug. You use ShadCN? Yeah, ShadCN is pretty popular. What even caused the flickering? I don't even know what I did that caused that bug. It was like... I think the only conclusion that we can make, guys, is that iOS is better than Android. It's just that, like, the divs are different. But look at this. This search bar looks perfect. This looks normal. Then this looks normal as well. This looks a little bit off. Oh, this looks terrible. Ha! I can't even exit this page. Wow, that page is really buggy. Linux, what's up? Let's see how the session screen looks. Session screen, this is what I don't understand. Like, some aspects look like the exact same. Like, this screen here looks perfect. Like, there is not any differences between these two screens. But then, there's no goals, but you guys get my point. But then on, just like some of the divs are all messed up. Let's pause and exit. What do we do to create that flickering bug? There it is. We didn't do anything. You know what they need to do? They need to make it so that you can drop in MP4s. I wonder when they have to do it eventually. Like, what is that? What is... we got the revenue through Stripe for the Bridgemind.ai website. So we got a little bit of cash flowing in. Also had our first RevenueCat subscription come in today, earlier on stream. So we're technically up to 51. But yeah, I expect us to start making money here. You know, when I first started this, I expected that there'd be a little bit of a learning curve, and then we'd start to make some money. So this is going as I expected. It's been challenging, you know. Some streams have been better than others. Some like content that I've worked really hard on hasn't done as well as I thought, or you know, some of them have done better. You know, it's like I think you just got to stick with things and you know, just try and really enjoy it. But yeah, what is causing this flickering? Like, man, what is causing the flickering? Gemini can take in video. Yeah, good business. Thank you. That's actually really good. So let's go. I actually remember, I don't know if you guys remember this. It was probably on like day 7. It was a while back. But we did go to like, we had in Gemini, isn't it in Gemini Studio, right? It was like, I would know what it looks like if I had. It's like we could like share our screen. We could share our screen, if you guys remember that. But I forget how I got there. Stream, is it this? Talk to Gemini Live. All right, guys, so this is my idea. It's my big idea here. Also, if you guys want to see the balances, here it is. $46.19. Got some cash coming in. All right, so we're going to talk to Gemini Live. Share screen. let's do just this. All right. Hi, Gemini. Can you hear me?
Hello. How can I help you today?
Hold on. I think I gotta stop the music. Wait, hold on. We got too many things going on at once here. All right. I just stopped the music so we can talk to Gemini. Hey, Gemini. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Please take a look at the emulator that I'm testing my app out in. Why is it that on the Android emulator, the bottom is like flickering like this? Like, what would be causing this? And I just want you to look at it right now. And then the next thing that I need you to do is I actually need you to look at the code for that functionality, because it's really important that you can figure out why is this happening on Android but it's not happening on iOS. Here's the code. Take a look at it.
Based on the code you shared, the flickering issue on Android might be related to how the bottom navigation is being rendered with the keyboard interactions. Specifically, the absolute positioning of the bottom navigation and the way keyboard height changes are handled in the code. On Android, the keyboard behavior can sometimes cause layout shifts or rendering issues when the keyboard appears or disappears, especially with absolute positioning. The code uses an absolute position for the bottom navigation on Android, which might be contributing to the flickering. You might want to explore alternative layout strategies or adjust the keyboard handling specifically for Android to see if that resolves the issue.
No, I don't want to do things specifically for Android. I just want to do things where it's going to look the same on both. Like, this is a big problem. This is a bug. And I want you to review the code again and closely, and then help me write a prompt that I can pass into Cursor to solve the issue.
Okay, I understand you want to ensure the app looks the same on both Android and iOS. You've identified a bug related to the styling, and you'd like me to review the code carefully and help you create a prompt for Cursor to fix the issue. Please provide the relevant code and any specific details about the styling issue.
I already told you about the styling issue. All right, hold up. Somebody said, nah, let's not do that yet. Flash is fine.
My apologies for the confusion. Please tell me which part of the styling is not consistent between platforms, and I'll help you create a prompt for Cursor to address it.
You can see from the screen recording that I'm sharing that there is flickering going on at the bottom part of the emulator with the continue in the back button. It's just going up and down really fast. And this happens on Android, but not iOS.
I see. The flickering of the bottom navigation buttons on Android, while not happening on iOS, suggests an issue with the layout or styling handling on the Android platform. To fix this, we need to ensure the bottom navigation is positioned consistently and doesn't shift when the keyboard appears or disappears on Android. I can help you craft a prompt for Cursor to modify the styling or layout to achieve a consistent behavior across both platforms.
Okay, please write the prompt.
Sure. Here is a prompt you can use for Cursor. The back and continue buttons at the bottom of the screen are flickering on Android devices, especially when the keyboard is present. This does not happen on iOS. Please adjust the layout or styling of the bottom navigation elements to ensure a consistent position and prevent flickering, regardless of the operating system or keyboard state. This prompt clearly describes the issue and specifies the desired behavior for both platforms.
All right. Sorry, guys. This is some futuristic stuff that we're doing here. Having an AI review the screen recordings to prompt another AI. That is, I don't know what else to say. That is some futuristic stuff. All right. So let's pass in create goal screen here. And then, all right. Come on, let's go. If this works, That would be crazy. If you guys are watching, haven't already liked and subscribed yet, please do so. We're getting really close to 1,600 subs. We're actually only 5 away. Check this out, guys. Getting close. We had a great stream on Sunday. Gained like 72 subs in a day. And then, I don't know if you guys saw the YouTube video on yesterday, but that one did pretty well. And then we have another one coming out tomorrow. It's about Claude code. Oh, changing the colors? Why would it change the colors? What did it change? Generic shadow for iOS. It doesn't look too fixed to me. The only changes it made were the web app for GoalPost. It's not done yet. Dev Mindset. It's not even like hooked up, but I'll give you the link to the domain. But yeah, it's not. I haven't actually configured any of the environment variables yet, so I'm gonna give it to you, but it doesn't actually work yet. Okay, why is this like that? Let's start a new chat. Honestly, I feel like this chat just got confused. Let's do Claude 4 Sonnet Max. Like that is usually good with styling. I'll understand. I was using Opus in this video that's going to come out tomorrow. I was using Opus during the video, and Opus, I forget how expensive Claude 4.1 Opus is. I mean, it's like insanely expensive. I used it for 2 prompts and it cost me like $8. It's crazy. All right, well, the flickering stopped. Flickering stopped, but that doesn't mean it's not going to start again. All right. See if we can recreate it. Looks like that fixed it. Looks pretty good. Okay, next thing I want to do. This is something else that I don't understand, is why is it that, like, look at this, the differences here between look at this, hold on. Like, some things are like pretty much spot on, they're the same, you know, great, whatever. But, like, look at this. Look at the differences between these two. What is causing such the significant difference in the styling on step 5? Can you please update the code to make sure that the styling is consistent on both devices? Particularly, the iOS looks great, but Android has weird shaped divs that are blocky and unprofessional. That's the best way I can describe it. Yeah, I'll add the GoalPost website to the description. Alright, so I think we solved flickering. Which is good. That didn't solve our issue. It's like there's this like inner div. It's like styled differently. You guys notice that? See this border here? I mean, it doesn't matter that much, but I'm a perfectionist, so. You know what matters more is that we get the subscription actually configured. All right, let's pull this up. All right, monetize, and then products, subscriptions, create subscription, product ID. What is it? Post premium monthly. GoalPost premium. And then we'll configure this in RevenueCat. I mean, we did solve the flickering, I think. All right, let's pull this up. Now we got to go to product catalog. Do this kind of simultaneously here. Create. All right, add base plan ID. Or wait. Base plan ID. Auto renewing, yes. All right. Grace period. What's the grace period? What is the grace period when setting up my subscription? You know what I'm more excited about sometimes is the next app that we're gonna build is gonna be so much better than this one. You know, it's like we've been working on this for 19 days and we're gonna keep working on it. But I'll tell you guys one thing right now is that when I get my next idea, it's gonna be a lot better than this one. I'll tell you what. Give me a good base plan ID for this. All right. All right. Set price. Set prices. Oh, okay. Let's do all of them. Set price. $4.99. Save. You can see like which countries have the worst. So I get Bitcoin, guys. $20,000 from whatever Colombia. 20,000, whatever that is. COP activate. Is it that easy? All right, your changes have been saved. All right, cool. All right, let's go over here. So GoalPost premium. Let's update this. I think that Looks like you can't, once you have this set, you can't change it backwards. Compatible. Product ID. We only even have monthly subscription, so. All right, so now we have to go over here, and I just want to make sure I don't expose anything sensitive, so. Can I import? Looks like I can import products. Oh, nice. Look at this, guys. Import products right here. Easy enough. Thank you. All right, and then if you guys remember, we had like those entitlements. Yeah. Attach that entitlement. Nice. That was simple enough. All right. So that's saved. All right, cool. All right. So now when I go to, let's X out of this. I have a quick question for all of you on Android. Is this normal for there to be like this black space at the bottom? Like, and then also the top. Maybe it's just the iPhone that I'm using for the emulator. Doom said, I know this is off topic, but I find it funny that Cracker Barrel is going back to the old logo because of all the backlash. So if your customers really love your logo, note to self, never change it. Yeah. I didn't know that they were actually going back. I don't get why they got so much backlash. They were just trying to, I guess it did look different. And that logo has been like around forever. All right, this looks good. Let's just double check, make sure that this is working. Test to make sure we don't get flickering. Cool, cool, cool. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. All right, no flickering. Pretty cool. All right, honestly, I'm kind of giving up on the whole. But, okay, here's what I don't understand. Look at this page. This page, the search page, matches, like, the iOS perfectly. Like, do you guys see this? Do you see how it does this? So this is what I don't understand. And this is, like, just kind of how my mind works. Is like, this one matches perfectly. No weird divs. Everything's perfect. Matches exactly, right? But then you go back and you look at this and it's like, whoa, you know, that looks noticeably different. You know what I mean? So I'm like, what is up with the difference? Maybe we can express our frustration to Cursor. Let's see. I'm gonna express my frustration here. Drop this in, and then I'm gonna drop this in, and then I'm gonna essentially just be like, hey, like, compare these two. Like, why is it that, you know, the first image that I have attached is the search screen. And the second screen is the, I'm pretty sure I don't even have to do that, but sometimes it messes it up. Why is it that in the search screen, the styling on both Android and iOS literally match perfectly, but in the feed screen, you can see that there is a noticeable difference in the styling, particularly at the very top with the header? What is causing this? What is different about the search screen where it works perfectly and the feed screen where it's different? All right, maybe we can figure this out, guys. If we got this figured out, that's actually a huge deal in my opinion. trying. Wait, didn't that... Wait, hold on. Whoa! Guys, look at that. Whoa. Hold on. That actually fixed it. Look at this. That totally fixed it. Wow. That totally fixed it. Okay. This is really good. So now, let's just take that. So it said, let's actually figure out, like, why is it? So it said, the search screen works perfectly because it uses simple layout, no shadow properties, consistent padding, no platform-specific props. Okay. So that's probably a big piece of it as well. The feed screen had inconsistencies because it had a complex layout. Platform-specific shadows. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So, platform-specific shadows. I think that that's the main driver. SR asked, what MacBook do you have? I've got a... so I've got a couple different computers. I've got... This is my MacBook. It's an M4 Max. Thing's fire. Thing is like my... it's like literally a part of me. And then for my actual setup here, I have a M3 Studio Ultra with 2 studio displays. Pretty sick. Pretty cool. All right. So now let's see if we can get that to update the create goal. Don't show that again. Does that actually work when I do? Okay, cool. All right. Please now do the same thing with the create goal screen. All right, if you can update this, we've got a ton of work to do, guys. This is awesome. Let's go. We're getting a win. That is a win. That's a win. All right, hold up. Sorry. Linux, thanks. Yeah, I'm a big Mac guy, so look at that. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. All right, platform-specific shadows. We've learned something today, everyone. There's such thing as platform-specific shadows. SR said godly, yes. So Doom, is notifications still mock data? I need to get notifications figured out. Maybe we can think about that and get to work on it. Also, like, man, we're getting some wins, guys. Finally. This is awesome. Oh, add that to the cursor rules. That's a really good point. I won't do it right now, because in this conversation, like, it's already, like, it's kind of already set up. But I will on the next like, before we create anything else, you know. But, like, yeah, just, I mean, stuff like this that I was noticing, like, see how this just has that weird look? Like, what is causing that? So now we just do at user profile screen. Same thing. Too easy. Too easy. But yeah, it's good that, like, I noticed that it was doing that, because you can see, like, on this page here, it doesn't do that. But then on this page, like, look at how different these pages are. It's rough. Same thing with this page. All right, guys, I'm gonna use the restroom real quick. Oh, bad request. Glad I was here for it. All right, try again. Said, where did revenue come from? Revenue is coming in from GoalPost and Bridgemind.ai. SR said you should do more of those vibe coding tutorial series, making one of them about how to form proper prompts so that AI understand exactly what you want achieved. Yeah, there's another one coming out tomorrow at 9 a.m. about Claude code, and that's a good idea to try and explain the prompting better. The video that's coming out tomorrow is more of like kind of like a Claude code for beginners video, but yeah, that's the kind of the content strategy right now, guys. I didn't seem to fix our issue. Let's try that one again. Try again. Take a look at the bottom of the Android version on the left and fix what's off about that one. As you can see, it looks a lot different than the iOS version. All right. Try again, yeah. We're making some money now. I expect it to be very slow. We're gonna be doing this for a long time. So, I expect it to be very slow for the first 30 days. And then once we start to, game the system, understand how things work, I think that's when some real money is going to start to come in. So, what's cool is that I'm streaming all of it. So I'm streaming, every learning part of the process because, I've never done like apps and stuff before. I've done other startups that have been much different, much more professional-based startups, like more of like your standard true business, let's say. But yeah, this is a lot different. So I'm learning. You guys are watching me learn. But one thing that I will say is that usually I can figure out how to game the system. So there's already a couple things I've noticed about just like content strategy and stuff from doing the live streaming and the YouTube and stuff. And I'll game the system, and I'm going to do the best I can, and I'm just not going to give up. And I think that will, do its work for me, if that makes sense. So this one here actually it wasn't able to figure it out. So why? Doom said, did you try to reproduce the username bug I found in the sign up on Android typing? Wait, the username? Oh, like when you're typing it in? I didn't notice that one. I didn't notice that. We can test it out here in a second, but I didn't notice that error. But yeah, what is up with this? This one is definitely not working. Notice the significant differences between the two still, and try again. But yeah, Doom, you know, something that's interesting is, you know, people are asking about the revenue, and, you know, it's going to be interesting to watch when the revenue starts to get up into the thousands, which it will. It's just a matter of time. And, you know, what's interesting is that, you know, right now, the channel and everything is relatively small, right? Everything is relatively small. But the thing is that I think that with what we're doing, it's basically like a exponential returns, so that when you essentially like start to actually gain traction, like let's say that one of the apps that we release gets some success, right? Well, that in turn is going to drive a bunch of people to these channels, which is going to drive even more people to the apps that we build, which in turn is going to drive even more success. Okay, that's a lot better. It was for a second. It's close. Oh, wait, did I get it? Oh, the back button is all messed up on the... Take a look at the back button. It's really laggy on the Android version, but not the iOS version. Please take a look at why this could be and fix it. When you type, it glitches and types extra letters. Okay, we'll check it out after I get this AI coach screen figured out. But yeah, I think... Oh, let's go, guys. There we go. There we go. Some resilience. This is good. I mean, I don't even know why it's... Wait, oh, the back button. Oh, back button's good. Alright, we actually accomplished a lot so far. There's all these like weird glitches of like the headers in the nav system in Google. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but like just weird glitches. Nug, what's up? I think it's good. We're good. All right, let's go investigate that error that Doom spotted on sign up. Skip these. Skip. Oh. So, all right, here's what I don't see. Like when I do. Let me see. KB said, "Have you tried the Sonic agent? It's pretty good." I have, but it can't take images. All right, I think that if I Nug said how much you pay for Cursor in 1 month. I paid a lot this month because I was using a lot of Opus 4.1, Claude Opus 4.1, but it's going to be much less next month since I'm going to be using, now that GPT-5's out, the costs are going to come down a lot. Also, the next model that Anthropic is going to release has got to be cost competitive with GPT-5. So I think AI is just going to continue to get cheaper and cheaper, for sure. All right, so let's go to, it's like several screens, like the onboarding screen. The question is, the onboarding have username? No, I think it's sign up screen. Wait, is it create account? Let's see, I think it is, yeah. All right, here's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna drop in the create account. Same thing with this screen. There are some differences in styling and shadows, as well as a bug that a user has reported where in the username input, it is all right, thanks, Doom. They're gonna copy and paste this in. All right, that should fix our issues. Yeah, no, we're growing up, man. We got 46 bucks in the bank. Actually, 51 now. Had our first RevenueCat subscription tonight, so. But I'm in it for the long haul, so I'm not getting too excited yet. You know, it's interesting. It's like, honestly, the everything that we've learned, even just in the past 90 days. I mean, think about it. In 19 days, we were able to build the app and then get it on both the Google Play Store and the Apple Store, the App Store, which is just crazy. So. Yeah, we actually made a lot of progress tonight. We got a lot of bugs fixed. We got our Android emulator set up. We got our subscription screen so that it's like more compact. We set up our subscription on the Google Play Store so that we actually can make money from users on Google Play. And I mean, yeah, I feel like we had a pretty good night, guys. Because now, let's see here. Hold on. Please notice the weird shadow in the input for your first name on the Android on the left and not in the iOS on the right. Please fix it so that this is updated and consistent across both Android and iOS. All right, we're gonna deploy these builds here soon, guys. If you guys are watching, haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. We're gonna wrap up here in a minute. But yeah, video coming out tomorrow at 9 a.m. and then another stream on Thursday and Saturday. I've got a triathlon coming up this weekend as well, guys. It's gonna be, it's a 1,500 meter swim and a 25-mile bike ride and then a 6-mile run. So, all right. Great work. Now, using the EAS CLI, please deploy the iOS build. Oh, wait, we have to version all this stuff too. Great work. Please now version the iOS version up one. Please take a look at all instances of the iOS build version. I think it's at 1.0.25 or 1.0.26. Whatever it's at, please version it 1. Same thing with the Android. I think it's at version 9 right now, so version it 1. But please make sure that you find this and version it correctly across both environments. Time AI app. Doom said Google sign up button flow still needs fixed. I actually don't think it still needs to be fixed, because basically what we were looking at is it may still need to be fixed, but I want to actually test that one in production. Also, I just gotta make sure that these. Okay, wait. So, package.json. All right. Jeez, I mean, I was in class at Purdue, and the professor was basically talking about AI. And he was like dogging on it. He was saying, he was basically making fun of it. He was saying, like, hey, you know, he called it a lazy prompt engineer. Exact words from his mouth. He said, there is no such thing as the only thing that exists is a lazy prompt engineer. And he did that. He did that finger quotes as well. He did prompt engineer. And you know, I was just sitting there. And it was very interesting to just watch, you know, because, you know, I don't know, maybe like in some industries, you know, AI isn't going to affect them as much, but in this industry in particular, AI is going to have a huge impact. It already has, obviously, as you guys can see. And that's the funny part, is it's like, you know, this is just such a world-changing moment, and so many people are unaware that it's even happening. Great work. Now, using the EAS CLI, I need you to deploy the iOS build and the Android build, and also deploy the iOS build to App Store Connect. Run all of these commands at once. Doom said, make an account on the Gmail emulator to make a new account. It's not using the Google email to make the account. That's words from a boomer. Yeah. I don't want to code one word at a time and take years to build a product. Yeah. I would rather take a few months. I mean, not even a few months. You know, it really isn't even a few months at this point. Cheyenne, what's up? But yeah, I mean, it was just an interesting experience, because I'm not a huge believer in like classical education. But you know, I was just kind of listening, and honestly, it was like it was so interesting, to be honest. All right, so we have Android building, iOS building. So let's just double check. Dev Mindset asks, which plan do you have for Cursor? I have the Ultra plan. All right, let's pull this up. Expand here. Expo Dev. All right, this looks good. This looks good. All right, perfect. All right, so these have to build. That's going to take like an hour for those to build, and I don't want to make any more changes. So we're going to call it tonight for the stream. But like I said, we're going to have a video out tomorrow on how to use Claude Code. It's coming out at 9 a.m. and then I'm going to be live again on Thursday. So thanks so much for watching, guys. If you haven't already liked and subscribed,